Welcome to Conversations and Connections to Amplify and Inspire. I'm Karen Powell, and this is the second series of my podcast. This season, we're taking things to the next level, exploring how simple introductions and a curiosity to learn can lead to extraordinary moments. Together, we'll uncover stories, celebrate the transformative power of human connection and how it drives us to collaborate, contribute, create a better future and influence change in our community. I hope you enjoy it. Hello and welcome back. Did you listen to the conversation that I had last week with Neil Milton from the Table Talk project? I wanted to take some time to reflect on what Neil had to share, and I felt really privileged to have him as my guest because, as you know, conversations truly resonate with me too. Neil's powerful journey from experiencing childhood silence and trauma to creating an initiative that strengthens family connections through intentional conversations reminds me of how often we undervalue simple, authentic dialogue in our daily lives. Too often I look around in today's world and I see families together but disconnected. And in my book, I discuss how distractions, particularly digital ones, have slowly eroded our ability to connect face to face. I notice families at cafes, restaurants, at home, physically together, but their heads are down and they're scrolling through their screens rather than engaging with one another. And I admit that I am often guilty of this too. But I know the power in a conversation. And during lockdown, I personally felt the need to mix up our family conversations to break away from the constant chatter about COVID. And it was at that time that I made the Conversations Count game. You'll notice at the end of each podcast, I ask my guest a question from the board game. My podcast was born at the same time and driven by the enormous benefit of listening deeply to others share their stories. And if you haven't listened to the stories in Series 1, many recorded during the lockdown period, they are worth visiting. Often a hasty decision or an assumption can prevent us from experiencing something remarkable or being able to reach out and help someone, because we haven't bothered to listen or start the conversation. It was only recently I was looking back and realising that creating meaningful moments and opportunities has always been part of what I've enjoyed. I'm fascinated by people, as I may have told you before, and during my teaching time, I co-facilitated a gifted and talented program particularly designed for the grade 6 students to have access to a diverse group of adults within our community. We were lucky in our school community to have parents who were elite athletes, journalists, explorers, social workers, historians, and operating in all walks of life. And they would come in on a Friday morning once a month and share their unique experiences, inspiring and motivating our students to dream. Now, in more recent times, I continue to facilitate dinners, events, and these interviews aiming to stimulate and encourage conversation and to amplify and inspire that there are many ways to live your life. And it's through a supportive network and having skills and courage, tenacity, education, dreams, and confidence that anything really is possible. In Neil's podcast conversation, he shared with us how important it is to be present, that we should simply choose to put down our devices and by doing so be pushed into a situation of unexpected conversations where we can often find laughter, openness, and sometimes even tears. And our personal pain or joy can be the reason that we connect when we share openly and honestly. True community and belonging are built one conversation at a time. And if we can create the right safe space, we can make a difference to reducing isolation and improving mental health. The podcast conversation I had in Series 1 with Glenys Reid about the Chatty Cafe Australia scheme is testament to the need for these programs. And remember, we should never underestimate the power of a simple question. Asking something as straightforward, "Is there anything else you'd like to share?" can genuinely transform lives. Some of the other key learnings from Neil's podcast were the importance of strengthening family bonds, how structured dialogues can support emotional safety, and practical tips that he shared for facilitating conversations within the home. Neil's powerful narrative about overcoming his trauma has led him to inspire positive change. And he talked about his work at the Table Talk Project and also at Child Safe Australia. The Table Talk Project suggests families have dinner together at least once a week. And his approach is centered around entree, main, and dessert. Entree being the meal, main being the conversation, and dessert being the follow-up of what was learnt from the conversation. Why is this subject relevant? Because we live in an increasing digital landscape and we're distracted. We have mental health challenges and there is diminishing face-to-face interactions. So here's a couple of questions to consider and reflect on. How often does your family engage in a meaningful conversation? How often do you put down your digital devices and simply enjoy a conversation? What barriers prevent open and honest dialogue in your family or your close relationships? And how might structured conversations like Neil's Table Talk approach positively impact your family's relationships? If today's reflections have inspired you and you wonder how you could create that conversation in your own home, perhaps my lifestyle edition of Conversations Count could be valuable. It's more than just a card game. It's an experience with a game board, instructions, playing pieces, and question cards designed to spark meaningful, surprising, and fun conversations with the people in your life. It's fun and flexible, and you can grab a copy by visiting my website. It's your perfect gift for yourself or for someone you love. So let's make every conversation count. Let's know it's good for our relationships and for our mental health. And here's to continually expanding our thinking, being interested rather than interesting, and making time to remain curious. Look forward to talking to our next guest in a week's time. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me on Conversations and Connections today. I hope this conversation sparked new ideas and reminded you of the power of meaningful connections. A huge thank you to all of our guests for sharing their valuable insights and inspiring stories. Visit my website at karenpowell.com.au. You'll find resources, insights, and opportunities to work with me to make every conversation count and create lasting impact. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and leave a review to help spread the word. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and let's start making an impact together, one conversation at a time.